Hello, salam, shalom, namaste, sat sri akal, aloha, hola, ciao, bonjour, buna, privyet, mabuhay, and jean dobre. It's really, really good to be with you again, and I know you will be so happy you've joined us again because we have a very special guest who's a returning guest, and it's Andrea Petrek, who's a money mastery coach. And we had such a cool, deep conversation last time. And I can't wait to continue that conversation today. Welcome back, Andrea.
Hi, Samia. How are you?
Doing really well. And I'm so happy and excited to have you join us again.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Yes. And Andrea, just for the benefit of those of our listeners who may have missed the previous episode, can you tell us again a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Andrea Petrek and I'm a money mastery coach. I haven't been money mastery coach for my entire life, as you can imagine. So in my previous life, as I call it, my profession is a lawyer, actually. And I started coaching 6 years ago, roughly. And it was a journey for sure. I started as a career coach. I transitioned into empowerment coach, but I found myself really attracted to the topic of money. And last year, roughly a year and a half actually ago, I started connecting more deeply to the consciousness of money. I believe everything is consciousness. And if you imagine connecting to like some people do that maybe with trees, they just go and hug trees and they feel their energy. It's kind of a similar thing, right? I'm connecting to the money consciousness because I consciously chose to do so. And I was so kind of enveloped in that topic of money. So I started doing that. And now I'm putting all my transmissions into my activations, my workshops, my courses, into everything. And the codes of money are being transmitted into that. So this is the way how I'm helping people basically heal their relationship with money in the first place because we all have maybe not the best relationship with money and then create the abundance that we truly, truly want and deserve to create our heaven on earth. So that's about me.
Ah, love that. Love that. And Andrea, one of the things that we talked about last time that I thought was a really
Yeah.
amazing perspective that you brought that, we don't get to hear from very many people is in the context of understanding money, in the context of understanding our relationship with money, to realize and recognize, as you said, that money is actually love. And, like, because, it's like everything is made of love, made from love, made with love. And so why would money have been left out of that context, or that creation
Yeah.
aspect? And so, I really found that to be such a helpful perspective that you shared. And, that was actually something that I was really thinking about when, we sort of um, when we were, I mean, wow, we talked about so many different aspects of our relationship with money last time. And one aspect of, like, of our relationship with money that I've been really thinking about, and especially when we think about money as love, is do we have a responsibility in terms of when we spend money, um, when we make money, when we just deal with money in general, to be conscious about, is it causing harm to other people? Is it causing harm to our planet? And, um, just s- using money, building our relationship with money in a way that we're conscious about using it for good, using it in ways that um, uh, uh, at the very least don't promote harm. And I think last time when we were talking, I was giving the example of like my cell phone and my being conscious of the fact that, when my cell phone was created, in order to create it, there was harm that was done to the planet to extract the materials that make up the phone, and there were people who were harmed in the process of making, because maybe they weren't treated properly, weren't paid properly, worked in difficult conditions, etc., etc. But then but then I was like, oh my gosh, just think about all of that. But then what does that mean? It's like, do I not use my phone, but I need my phone
Yeah.
for my work and this and that? Hey, thanks for tuning into this episode. Hope you're getting value out of it. For your information, this episode has been sponsored by the Happiness 101 program. Are you a change maker, coach, trainer, or healer? Are chains of fear holding you back from making the impact and income you desire? Using a unique combination of positive psychology and the spiritual wisdom of our most effective change makers, the Happiness 101 program helps you break through your limiting beliefs and manifest the abundance and success you desire with fun and ease. Interested? Book a free Happiness 101 exploration call with me, your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Just use my online calendar link in the show notes. Now, back to the show.
Let me relieve you a little bit, Sam. Yeah, yeah. I do get that, and I was asking myself very similar questions. You know, when I started my journey, and just to kind of like give a little clarification, I didn't wake up one morning and decide, oh, I'm gonna be a money coach, right? Money mastery coach. For myself, it was a journey as well. I needed to overcome my own limiting beliefs, my own kind of, the beliefs I had from my upbringing, the societal beliefs that I was holding on to so much. And it was a journey, right? I was thinking of myself, like, who am I? Who am I to talk to people about money? I mean, there are way more successful people. There are rich people who could be talking about money. Why me? Right? Like, where do I get the boldness that I should be talking about money? And I was really asking those questions for myself, and I got my answers. I literally got my answers. But look, there are many more people struggling with money like yourself. And if you can help those people because you can help yourself, that is good enough. Like that's the job. Your job is not to convert anyone into anything. It's not even to help everyone because there is no one actually that needs your help. And to get that, there is nothing actually wrong with anything is a little bit of a mind blower, right? Because we do come from that, and many of us, we have, and let's call it how it is. It's a judgment, right? It's a judgment upon society. We do bad things, we do wrong things, we do nasty things, all of that, right? And we might be feeling also sometimes like we are the righteous people, right? Like I'm right in this, like we are harming when we're doing this or this shouldn't be allowed. This is bad behavior, right? But when you really, really go into the higher perspective of that unconditional love, that divinity is, that source is, that the universe is, from that perspective, there's nothing wrong going on ever, 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 ever. And I would really recommend like just making peace with that. Don't take it for granted just because somebody says it. Find your own truth, whether that could sit with you, whether that really feels good. Like, could I be really not be judged by any kind of higher power? And if you believe that love is unconditional and that the higher power is unconditional, that must be true. Because if somebody was judging me and telling me this is the good behavior, this is not a good behavior, I mean, there are restrictions already, right? But then getting it like literally, I'm always like I'm using the term God because I was raised as a Christian and I have nothing against that. You use the terminology that works for you, right? I like the term God as well because it's kind of familiar for myself. And I like to put God into the picture where God is literally giving us the freedom to do what we want. And it's literally going like, oh, here you go. You can do whatever you want because you are a piece of me. Why would I restrict myself? If the infinite power was restricted, it would not be infinite, right? You have the same power. You are a piece of me. Do what you feel best, right? And with that love, we are allowed, actually, we are able to do also things that might be harmful. But if we look at those things that are as harmful, we are judging it, right? There is no unconditional love, and that's the human perspective. From our human perspective, many things can be not good, and that's a judgment. But it really goes way, way deeper because just to say, okay, so let's cut off the trees on our planet and let's pretend it's not harming our planet, this is not what I mean, right? But it always comes back where we're coming from, right? Whether I'm coming from love or whether I'm coming from the fear or the scarcity. Because I can just give you an example. You have a little child, and someone from the outside might look like, oh, why don't you give the child a chocolate? Why is she crying? You're doing something wrong. And I, as a mother, I know I can't be giving my child so much chocolate because it's not healthy for her. So it might look like "Oh, she's crying because I'm not giving her something she wants is a bad thing, but there's a deeper layer to that. And when we understand the deeper layer, that there is actually nothing wrong because everything that is happening on this planet right now is happening for us. And this is the huge shift that we all are going through right now. Because if I'm seeing the things that are happening in my life on a personal level or maybe on global level as it's happening to me, I feel like a victim. Somebody is doing something to me. Somebody's harming me. Somebody's harming the planet. Somebody's harming other people. Society is harming the environment. But if we look at the perspective is happening for us, that means it's a good thing. My my all favorite analogy, maybe I mentioned that the last time, I can't actually remember. It's like kind of like in the middle of a surgery when you look at what's happening at a surgeon's table and it's all blood and all those utensils and all whatnot. It looks like somebody is being killed on that table, but they're helping this person. But
Mm,
just in the middle, through the process, it looks like like something really bad when you don't understand that the surgeon is actually helping the person, right? And through the process, there are things happening for us. So let's say I might be very unhappy because I might not have enough money, right? And I might come from a place that I'm complaining, I don't have enough money, I don't understand, I'm a good person, I'm a righteous person, I'm working hard, I'm doing my best and I still don't have money. And I might be complaining all the time, right? And this is the perspective when I see things happening to me. So why is this happening to me? God, why am I not more wealthy? But when I change my perspective and I come from love and I go like, oh, there must be something good happening for me because everything is happening for me. And even in those kind of most difficult circumstances, in the most difficult events, I can find something that is happening actually for me. I can extract that lesson. You might call it lesson, you might call it whatever you want, but when I find the thing that is happening for me, I can actually appreciate that it's happened to me,
mm,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can guarantee you, if I didn't go through certain time of hardship and lack of money in my life, and literally I went months, even in my business when I was not having any money, I was not getting any clients, I was not earning money. If I was not going through that period of time, I would not understand what other people are going through when they are experiencing similar situations. If I was just like, if I turned up to be money coach one day and I was rich immediately, I would not even have a clue how that happened. But because I'm going through the process, I'm understanding a lot of things and I'm going deeper. If I was not going through that struggle, I would never arrive at the point where I am right now and I can say with so much certainty that there's only love because the struggle is literally making me look deeper and deeper into my heart. And maybe a better even expression is to kind of like expand myself and to embrace so many more aspects in life. And that's why I can be sitting here and go like, oh, so you lost your job? Congratulations. Perfect. This is happening for you. I don't know why. There is a reason why it's happening, right? But we've got to embrace that shift that is happening for me rather than it's happening to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like what you're saying about shifting our perspective from happening to me to shift it to it's happening for me. And I have that understanding as well. And I'm wondering if maybe there's a different distinction that I'm thinking needs to be made in terms of, like our relationship with money and understanding. Um, so for example, like, with the example that I brought up, like with my phone and harm having been caused, um, in the production of my phone, but I'm like using it nonetheless in my life. Um, there, I like I'm trying to think about, the idea of like from a spiritual perspective, from, this is something that you have also been saying about, it's happening for me. There's a reason behind it, right? And so, like from a spiritual perspective, there is a reason and a purpose to why things are happening, and that reason and purpose is grounded in love. Um, and so, from my understanding, the ultimate purpose that we have is to embody more and more of the love, to become more and more like the love. Um, and and there are, so it's like there are things that if we do can take us away from that goal, or sort of like us. It's like if like we're moving in a direction that is not conducive to our becoming more, melting more into the love, becoming more like the love. And versus if we go in a different direction, we behave in some different ways that can help us move towards that goal. No?
So here is what I believe, right? So I believe that we are spiritual beings, right? We're just spiritual beings. We are in this human body, in this reality, having a certain experience. And I believe that when we are not here in this body, we are still spiritual. We are the spirit, right? Whatever the name you want to be using. We are still the spirit. And when we return to that again, after, we are experiencing the completeness, the unity with the one, with the oneness and the bliss and the divinity and the unconditional love. This is what we are in essence. This is what we become part again, fully, completely, unconditionally, because this is the how like this is what what the core of our existence is. This is what I believe, right?
Would
And
that
so
regardless of how we choose to live in this life? Meaning like, so for example, in a lot of spiritual traditions, faith traditions, religious traditions, there's the idea that, like for example, where the ideas of righteousness, good behavior, bad behavior, some of that where it comes from is the idea that, you know, uh, it, it, the way that we act in this life has an impact on what we experience as spirit as well. So it's like if we in this life act in certain ways, that actually prevents us from experiencing that unity as spirit as well.
right, right. I totally understand where you're coming from, and I'm like really, I'm not here to take your beliefs or anyone else's beliefs away from you, right? Like this is the beauty of the freedom and the unconditional love that we have. We are free to choose what we want to believe, right? Like I want to believe something, I'm free to do that. And I literally believe that, we are coming here to have certain experience, right? And I believe that the existence itself, the energy, the universe is not judging our experience here on planet Earth. Is not. If you coming from religious background, and I too was struggling with that, but like there has to be like a right way and something that we should like strive to achieve. But then I really understood that when God is perfection, right? And we coming from God and we are his children, or like we are part of it. And why would we come here and try for this perfection when we already are part of that perfection? So for my understanding, it's really helpful to see we're coming to planet Earth and we want to experience different aspects of existence itself. And because it's not judged what is a right experience, what is a wrong experience, because it allows for all experiences, because this is what makes for expansion and the variety and the richness. The existence would be limiting itself if it said like, oh, but this behavior is not wanted or is not allowed or not approved of, but then it would not be infinite. It would not be the omnipotent, right? Because it would be something that is excluding from it itself. So I believe that everything is actually allowed, and in this way it's wanted, and this is really like a mind wrapper, right? Like, oh, so it's allowing for all the horrible things that people do, right? And for killing children and for letting people starve to death and all of those things. But this is the human perspective again, right? From the more, like, from the higher perspective, if you believe that you are a spirit, you are indestructible, your energy, you never cease this to exist. Nobody can harm you in this way. And it's only on this human planet that we're doing those things. It is literally for the experience of having those experiences,
Mhm.
right? And if we don't judge as this is a good experience and this is the wrong experience. Now, I'm not saying raping someone is allowed, right? I'm not saying those things. I'm always like saying, look where you're coming from. You can be hating that people are doing it. You might be really like upset that this is happening, or I might be coming from it's it's part of this experience. And I know this is very difficult for people to get, right? Because like how could I do that? It almost means like I'm approving all those things, or I'm kind of like forgiving people who do that. I'm not saying none of that, but I'm not pushing against that because this is this is where my responsibility comes from. I can be looking at those things that shouldn't be happening. And if I'm not coming from love, I'm judging it automatically. If I'm
Mhm.
coming from fear, if I'm coming from luck, I'm gonna be pushing against it and I'm going, these people should be banned, they should be jailed, and they should be like punished because this is where my fear comes in. If I'm coming from love, it's like accepting, but it doesn't mean approving, right? Like accepting means it's raining outside. I'm not upset about that. I'm not in love with that rain. It just rains.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
accepting that it's raining. Today's a rainy day. This is
Yeah.
acceptance. But I'm not pushing against like, oh, it shouldn't be raining today. It shouldn't be raining at all because it's such a wrong thing. I'm just looking at this, realizing it's part of it all. It's like leaves falling from those trees in autumn. I'm not mourning them that they're just falling down, that they're like dying. I'm accepting it. It's part of what life is.
Mm.
Does it make sense at all?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, uh, when so in terms of our relationship with money, uh, when we want to invite more of it into our lives, we want to invite more abundance into our lives. Um, um, it, the idea that, like for example, that I have is that, the more you align yourself with 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 the essence of what everything is that is love, the more easily you will not only receive it in your life, but recognize, wow, that I'm already abundant. I'm already rich. It's already everything that I need is already here. And so, that is sort of like where I think I maybe um like why I would encourage myself to to so for example, like if I say to myself, okay, Samia, how should I um use the money that I do have to make more money, and I have a choice. I can put it in this investment, or I can put it in this investment. If I put it in this investment where, like let's say it's going to make investing in a company that makes weapons, or that something like that, versus investing in a different investment where investing in a company that I don't know, makes some healthy, delicious food, something like that. And so like for me, I would think that if I make a choice that makes me feel more aligned with the energy of love, that is a better choice for me to make, versus the other choice. But um, does it not make a difference? Or you're saying something different um, in terms of like when I'm trying to make these choices for myself and how I relate to my money and use my money. Um, Yeah, like practically, what 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 do we do, or does it not matter?
That's an excellent question because really, when you think the traditional way or like the stereotypical way of thinking about money is, okay, so I'm putting money where it makes most money,
Yeah.
maybe. right? Like that would be my choice. Or many people have this kind of thinking where they go like, well, I shouldn't be investing because that's risky. I could lose money and uh, I better save that money, right? I'll put it somewhere safe. I hide it somewhere at my house, or maybe I'll put it into the bank, but I don't go for risky investments. I'll just keep them safe, right? Um, and again, there is no wrong choice and there is no right choice, right? And it again comes back to where I'm coming from. If
Mm,
you're excited, if you love the idea to invest into a company, and you love the idea of the company, you like what they do, you just excited about their maybe their values or the products they do and all those things. I would say that's the best use of your money,
mm,
right? But it's because you're excited about that and you're not coming from fear. If
mm,
you're coming from fear, it will be like, oh my God, I don't know if I can invest. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just keep the money, and you still go and invest, which is kind of like almost like against your instincts or your feeling, then it's probably coming from scarcity, from fear, and it's only gonna create more of that fear. Now, I'm not saying I know what's gonna happen, but you might experience more of fear around that investment in the future as well, right? Like going up and down, really being nervous about that, and maybe even losing, I don't know, but like it always comes back to really how you feel about that. There are people who feel really the best and really excited when they can save money under their bed. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Again, there's no right or wrong way. It's just about how I feel about that.
mm. So there is a value to following your feelings in terms of following the good feelings and like when you feel excited about something, when you feel energized by something, to move towards that feeling, do more of that thing versus
Yeah.
that make you feel afraid. So I mean, so it's not a matter of judging like right, wrong, but there, insofar as we are saying, okay, when I move in this direction, I feel more love, and I feel in this direction, I feel more fear. There is, there is, there is something that's different between those two things. So without judging it as good, bad, right, wrong, we nonetheless do place a value and encourage ourselves to move in the direction where we feel more love rather than fear.
I give you another example, right? There are so many people who think, well, this is a good way of spending money. This is approved of, and this is a wrong way of spending money. So what would be like the not accepting way of spending money? Let's say like a gambling, right? Or just like throwing money away out of your window. Maybe that would be not really approved of, right? Or like many people would approve, oh, you're giving to charity or you donating, right? Things that's approved of. But literally, when we go to the higher perspective again, there's no wrong or right way. There's no better way than the other. The charitable way, it's not kind of more honorable than the way of spending money on a luxurious item, for example. Many people would have this kind of understanding. Well, I cannot frivolously spend $1,000 on a purse because there are people literally starving in this world, right? So I better take that money and put it into charity or something like that. And again, this is judgment. This is being judgmental that this is a good way and this is a wrong way. And just to understand that literally the the source is not judging what's a good way, what's a wrong way.
Mhm.
It allows for both ways to exist. And if both ways exist, it actually makes out for the richness of this experience, of this world. And it's not limiting by it's infinite. It cannot be limiting itself, right? And we just want to kind of like, and it actually creates a lot of peace around that because imagine maybe you would even like to buy a, let's say, I don't know, maybe a luxurious purse is your thing, or maybe a luxurious car is your thing. But you're talking yourself out of it because, no, I shouldn't be spending so much money on a thing that I can get for cheaper somewhere else. And it's not luxurious, but it's just kind of like standard thing, right? But there is a reason why you're craving this kind of like bigger, fancier house. Why you want those things, and it's expansion. It's literally expansion. That this universe is infinite and is expanding all the time, and we are expanding with it. So if we stopped expanding, we would stop in our evolution. We would stop wanting more. It would just like we would halt the expansion itself.
Mhm.
And I love the book. I don't remember the name and I don't even remember the author right now, but it was something like Create Richness or Become Rich. And it was like just just notice, what are you thinking about becoming rich? What judgments do we already have against those people who spend money on luxurious cars, luxurious yachts, hotels, houses, holidays, all those things? Do I judge them? Like they should be giving more to charity, they should be helping more other people, right? If I'm judging that, that means that I'm actually not approving of certain ways of how money could be spent or should be spent. Now, on a personal level, how do I want to spend money is literally what makes me most excited. How do I want to be spending? We are so many of us, we are literally used to spending money on the things that we have to pay. I have to pay my bills. I have to pay for my groceries. I have to pay for my, I don't know, taxes, the fees, the whatever I have to pay. And this is what we pay automatically. Yeah, it has to be paid. It has to be paid. But when it comes to our own personal desires, we almost go like, oh, but I don't need that.
Mhm.
I want that. I want that, but I don't need that. So I'm not allowing myself to purchase that. And just notice, like, am I judging actually my own personal wants, what
Mhm.
I want? And I'm only kind of like putting money where I believe it should be going. That means my relationship is very one-sided.
Mhm.
Why would I not allow myself to get something that I'm craving, that I want, and just be happy with that? And I literally believe money as a tool is here for us to have an easier life, to have more joy, more happiness. So if that thing that you want to buy is going to make you happy, why not? Why not allow that for myself, right?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. And, like, uh, so the key is to make sure we're not coming from a mindset of scarcity and not coming from a mindset of fear when we make our decisions. And at the same time, like for example, in the context of how do we really maximize our happiness and in our peace, this is something that's pretty well established now, both in the context of like if you think about people's lived experiences, because all the research that's done in this context is obviously looking at people's experiences. You find that um, that uh, like you can have lots of money and be able to buy anything you want, and people do who do that, and they can still be unhappy and miserable in their lives. So it's like and so behind that misery is probably also that they are not having a positive relationship uh but in a different way than someone who doesn't have money or is restricting themselves from spending the money they have in ways that they desire to, you know? Um, I think we might have touched on this a little bit last time, where somebody who has a lot of money uh, can fall into a scarcity mindset in a different way, or be may sort of fall into that fear-based thinking in a different way. Like they may be striving, like working, and be like, I'm gonna make more money, more money, more money, because they're scared in the back of their head of losing what they have got, or they have a scarcity mindset of, there's a limited pie and I have
Mm.
to make sure that I keep growing my pie, because if I don't, then other people are going to take it and then I have less, and those kinds of things. So I hear what you're saying. Avoid judgment, um, but follow your feelings that lead you to feel more excited, more abundant, more happy.
It all comes down back to the relationship with money. And what I mean by that is actually, what do I believe? What are my beliefs around money? Is money easy to earn? Is money available? Is there enough money? Or is like very little money and you have to really struggle your entire life for money? Those kind of beliefs, they are usually deeply ingrained in us from our upbringing. And those needs to come up to the surface so we can see them, we can face them in order to change them. Because if I believe that money is hard to come by, if I have to work very hard to earn money, I only will have money if I work hard for it, right? I cannot be, my belief will not allow for me to have money if I don't work
Yeah.
or if I work less. That
Hmm.
was a huge belief for me when I started my coaching business. And when I had my baby 3 years ago, and I didn't have the time anymore to put into my business completely collapsed. Because before I was putting 8+ hours into my business. I was working hard, so I had the money. But when I stopped working that hard, I literally saw no money coming into my business. And that was due to the belief that you need to be working hard. That hardworking mentality was killing my business completely. So I needed to shift those things to understand that money is energy, money is available everywhere around, and it's already here,
Mm-hmm.
and to shift from working hard to I deserve money, not because how much I work, not because I am smart or I am very skilled or I have a lot of experiences, but the worthiness has to be based on something else. The worthiness needs to be based on me as a spiritual being, me as an existence, and that is enough. Because if I place the condition like I'm not enough until I work hard, I'm educated, or I give value to people, or I really, really help some people, that is always conditional. And if I'm not doing those things, that means that money will not be coming to me, which is, again, only a belief. So why not shift the belief that I deserve the money or the money I want I deserve because of just of the sheer existence that I am.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because again, we can look at situations where um, you can look at someone and be like, hey, this person did absolutely nothing to deserve the money they have, in the sense that, like, if you're just born into a really rich, well-off family, and like when you're still a baby or a young kid, you certainly haven't done anything to earn that money, but you have it, you have access to it. And so, like, but we don't blame that child or judge that child for having access to that abundance, to that provision, and so on and so forth. But as adults, we can judge ourselves and be like, oh, I don't deserve. I'm not worthy. You know, it's just as much
Absolutely.
as that child deserves and is worthy of being well cared for and provided for, taken care of. Well, I'm the child of the universe. And so I
Well,
deserve to be taken care of and loved and all of
Samia, I can tell you, my fa like this is what I say to everyone, like money doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It's not like an equation where you, oh, if you do this, then
Mhm.
you have a lot of money, or
Yeah,
because you this was literally my upbringing.
yeah,
You get good grades, you get into university, you graduate, you get a good job, you sorted for life. Bullshit. It doesn't work like this, right?
yeah.
Money is spiritual and it's energy and it responds to energy and what we output, this is what we're gonna get more of. And if my beliefs are, if I was born into a rich family and I see money everywhere and nobody's struggling and nobody's ever working and we just have money and we can buy whatever we want, I probably believe money's everywhere, money's easy, money is not even important in my life. I don't even care about money because it's always there. For
Mhm.
many of us, we grew up in a different environment. There was not enough money, and our parents probably told us, like, money doesn't grow on trees. Like, you better save, you don't spend that, you don't waste money, all those things. And now we carry those beliefs, and now we have to work hard and we have to prove our deservability, and we have to like stand on our hands to earn even a little bit of money. But it's just the belief that is creating that. The belief needs to change. If we change the belief into a more abundant belief that the money is everywhere, it's for everyone. This is the hard part to get. Again, coming to the pie. If I eat half of the pie, how come like there's only half pie left? But
Yeah.
this is not with energy. Energy is it cannot be divided. It cannot be literally like destroyed. It cannot cease. It only changes the form.
Mhm.
So if you believe, we talked about that, when I give to someone, I return like it comes back to me tenfold. This is literally because the
Mhm.
energy can come to me and the money can come from so many places.
Yeah.
Again, we are so used to the money is coming only from my employer because I work there, but there are so many other sources that the money could be coming if I open up to that,
Yeah.
right? It's not just one way how the money can come.
Yeah. I don't know if okay, so I'm tempted to ask you a question and I feel like in a way I'm just asking something that I have asked before, but in a different way. Um, but okay, so so like okay, when you talk about okay, so we have these beliefs that we can grow up with, thinking money is scarce, money doesn't grow on trees, this and that, and then you say, okay, but let's change that belief. Let's change it to money is abundance, money is energy, money is everywhere. Um, why strive to change though? It's like, um, if there's no right, no wrong, no judgment on how things are. Why strive for change?
Yeah, it's a simple answer. Because I'm allowed to do whatever I want. I'm allowed to experience whatever I want. I might have been experiencing money as luck for majority of my life, and now I've had enough, and I'm deciding, and I have free will, and now I want to experience something else. Literally, I'm changing my mind. I'm sick of it being broke and poor all the time. I want to be wealthy, and I'm changing my mind, and I'm like, yeah, now I want to be. It's just simple as that. Just because I want it, not because being poor is wrong, not because being rich is good, just because I want to have the experience now that I have enough, that I have plenty, that I have more than enough, I can give to others, that I can donate to charities, not because it's a good thing to, because I want to help others, because I want to expand in this way. And this is what makes me happy. Again, we're coming to the happiness thing. What makes you happy? Well, we are built in this way that when we realize I don't want something, we automatically know what's the other side of it. We know what we want. If I've been sick, I want to be healthy. If I've been poor, I want to have enough and richness and all of that. And now this is the expansion, right? I'm expanding into a completely new arena where I've never been before. I've never been rich. How? Okay, so now my desire goes there. I want to be rich. Now, how do I create that? How do I expand into it so I actually can materialize those riches in my life? And this is the where the growth is happening, right?
Yeah, so there is a value. So basically what I'm trying to get to is when we have the spiritual perspective, even though we're saying we don't want to get into judging things and so forth, but there's nonetheless desires that we have, and there are nonetheless values that we have in terms of, we want to experience growth, we want to experience expansion, we want to experience abundance, and so on and so forth. And so what helps you in that direction, go for it. Like, it's okay if you don't. You can choose not to. But it does seem like there is an aspect of our nature that just creates that desire in us, that we
Yeah,
want to experience different things, that we want to experience growth and so forth.
absolutely. And when you think about that, the desire comes from a place where it has been inspired by your own experiences. And
Mhm.
so there's no need for it. There's no like such a thing as, oh, you have to go there, you have to expand, you have to do something or want some. No, there is no need. In full honesty, it could be perfectly okay just to go and live my life the same way as I am, or just like pack my bag and go into a cave in the woods and live like a hermit for the rest of my life and never talk to anyone and never create anything and just like have that experience. But that experience has value as well, the same way as an experience of a wealthy person who is doing charities and whatnot. Again, our human perspective will judge those two ways of life, of course, but from the higher perspective, there's nothing to judge. And the desire, this is such a great topic. I love desires because the desires, we're judging our own desires sometimes as well. Like, oh, I would love to live in a place where there's warm weather all year round or close to the sea or those things. And then I go like, oh, but I can't, I shouldn't, la, 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 my family lives here, all those things. And we're judging those desires. Again, those desires is the soul telling you, oh, this is the expansion I'm craving. This is the expansion I want to go into. And they've been inspired. And it's nothing wrong with having those desires, right? Like all the people, we are just contributing to the expansion of the entire universe with our desires. So who am I to judge someone for wanting something that I might not want personally? But that's the beauty in it. We cannot want like all of us wanting the same thing. That would be crazy. There would be no growth. There would be no richness. But because somebody wants this, and it's going into all corners and into all like directions of expanding, and those desires are literally helping to expand the universe. Because imagine if you were just happy and content and never want anything anymore in your life, that would just put you like in one place, right? But because we have those experiences, we go like, we judge. Oh, it's a bad experience. I don't want that. It shoots me right into the opposition. I'm experiencing poor health. Oh, I want better health. We never like this. We never stagnant like this, right? Oh, I'm having like problems with my car. I want a new car.
Mhm.
Oh, I have to pay for the new car, more money, more for fuel, more for taxes. Oh, I want it cheaper. Or I want more money or those things. It always makes us grow. And this is the beauty. So the desires are really needed.
Hmm. Yes, yes. No, I can agree with you on that. I mean, our desires, they are reflecting genuine needs that we have as spirit. And like for me, I think that ultimately the what my spirit really, really needs and wants is to melt back into the love. And so for me to do that, to be able to do that, I just have to be more and more. When you talk about everything's energy in just different forms, it's like some people talk about, like energy in the context of vibration, and like different feelings have different vibration, different states have different vibrations, and the vibration. So for me to align myself more and more and more fully, more completely with the vibration of love and unconditional love, like you said. And that is like for us in our human egos, unconditional love is challenging to practice. But I do agree with you that the our the that we are here uh, um, because of unconditional love. So yeah.
Yeah, and now imagine just this, right? Can you say and believe that I love money and
Hmm.
money loves me? Can you have that kind of relationship to money? You would say that to a loved one, to a child, to, a brother, a sister, a mother, a father. You would say, oh, I love you. And they would say, oh, I love you back. Why not saying that to money? Oh, I love money. And
Hmm.
money loves me, of course, because it's an attraction universe. And what I want, what I attract, that attracts me as well. So there is a match. It's like when you imagine someone wanting a partner in their life, right? Like they're looking for love in like in a new partner. There's this other person. So I want the person, I want someone in my life, and that person wants the same thing. They
Yeah.
want someone like me in their life. So when we meet, we are a match.
Mm.
We're attracting each other. It's not like, oh, I want a partner. Oh, this is the person I'm dragging them into my life. No, it's attraction. They want something. They're attracting me the same way. So when
Yeah.
we talk about consciousness of money, your money is attracting you the same way because you have an idea. Let's say you want a house. I want more money because I want a house because it will be so much fun to just live in a big house, very comfortable, very beautiful house.
Yeah.
And the consciousness of money is like, that will be so fun. That will be so fun. This is an idea that I'm attracted to as well, and it's a match. That's why I could be talking about this for hours, I know, but I just want to like wedge this idea that you might be thinking when we think about a partner, you go like, there's someone for me as well, right? Like the right partner, and we are gonna be a match. And we are not thinking, well, if that person is gonna be with me, I'm taking someone away from someone else, right? Like I'm stealing someone else's partner. You're not thinking this way. With money, we sometimes have this happy, like funny ideas that like if I get money, if I being paid or if I have a lot of money, I'm probably stealing from someone. Like I'm making poor some other people.
Mm.
And again, this is just if we are forgetting that money is energy because you are attracting only your money. This money is yours. Someone else is attracting their money
Mm.
because of the energy they're attracting. And I want to kind of like just maybe end on this note that when you're attracting your wealth, your riches, your money, it's literally yours because it has the same vibration as you. It has the same frequency. Someone else is attracting their portion of that money.
Mm.
Think of the portions as coming from a pond, a never-ending pond, an infinite pond. And when I take a part, it doesn't get smaller. It
Mm.
actually expands because the universe is expanding.
Yeah. 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 And like for somebody who finds themselves in a position where money seems to be flowing away from them, going out of their life, maybe that's just a case of like there's something here for you to learn in terms of creating change in yourself, in your relationship with money, so that you have it flowing back towards you again. Is that
Is
it?
the flow. Money is energy. Energy needs to flow. Energy needs to circulate, right? And just imagine money being as air.
Mhm.
We take inhales, air in, and then exhaling air out. This is not what we're doing with money usually. We get money and we try to hold on to it. I'm not giving away. I'm not letting it go, or like very reluctantly, I'm releasing my money.
Yeah.
But think about that. Money literally needs to flow. It's a flow of energy. It's life itself because energy is life. Money is life itself. If I'm holding too tight onto it, again, coming from scarcity, I might be creating just more lack for myself.
Mm,
And this is usually like, this is what I do usually when I see I'm not getting enough money in, like something is blocking my
mm,
receiving. I'm always looking, where am I holding on to money?
mm,
Where I'm not releasing money. And the moment I start releasing, it might be an old bill that I didn't pay. It might be something like my obligation that I didn't fulfill, or even such a funny idea as, oh, my insurance is due end of year and I'm waiting till the very last day because of my funny beliefs that I might not get enough money. What if this happened? What if this happens? And I still have the time to pay, but I'm waiting out. And I'm actually blocking receiving of money because receiving is giving. And the moment I start opening up my gates and releasing money because I'm not holding on to it, because it's flow, ebb and flow, it's coming in and out. When I'm releasing money, then it can come in as well. But when I'm holding on to it, like I'm just suffocating myself when I'm holding my breath and not allowing it to go out.
okay, you keep making me have to ask you. Okay, maybe one more question.
Ay,
Okay.
funny.
So the question, because you just brought to mind a particular case a couple of people that I have been working with. So, and it's about their relationship with money. So at a very practical level, like when, you know, so this person, these two people, they're both they're both striving to have this more abundant mindset of, not allowing fear to drive their decisions when it comes to money in their lives. And um, uh, but see, okay, so one thing that's happened in both of their lives is that they have a lot of debt that they're in to the point where it's like far exceeding their income capacity. So it's like you're making $100 and you're in debt $400, like that kind of a situation. And um, obviously when like, all these judgments start to come to mind in terms of, well, how do we be responsible with money? Because again, thinking from those kinds of perspective, like, no, no, like, to be responsible with money, you need to make sure that the debt you are in is no more than this percentage of your income. And if it's like, if you're so much in debt, that's a responsible way that, you are using money, etc. And um, and the thing is that these they made these people. It's interesting how there's all these spirals in their life, right? Where so on the one hand they made these decisions uh, with that intention of coming from a place of abundant thinking, and then ending up in the situation where they're in a lot of debt and now feeling really stressed and starting to get more worried about there's a lot of debt and it's having consequences in terms of, like I want to pay this bill and I don't have the money to pay the bill, etc., etc. And so, like, again, just sort of when we are dealing with this kind of situation, what do we do? Like, what's the thinking? What's a better way to think about what's going on in this situation that can keep us in abundance and keep the money flowing in a positive
Well,
way?
we all like both of the people, they might look like they're in the same situation. They might have different circumstances, right? They might have different beliefs. So I would always ask them first question like, um, are you judging yourself for creating that debt, right? Is there any judgment about that debt itself? And I can guarantee you there might be something in underneath, like, yeah, I shouldn't have that. I shouldn't have created that debt. I might be judging myself because I'm not able to repay the debt as quickly as I wanted. I might be judging myself in general for not being able to make more money even without that debt,
Mm,
right? And it just really comes back to uh, non-judgment, right? Like not judging myself for the debt itself. Um, and how do I do that? Well, at some point, I created that debt because I wanted to pay for something, right? And that something, I don't know what it was, doesn't matter, but that money gave me. Maybe you have a mortgage, so you are paying basically for your roof over your head, right? Maybe you took a loan because you just were short of money and you just needed to pay for your car, for your family bills, for whatever, doesn't matter. But you paid something with that debt for something. And so whatever you got, that's abundance. That's still abundance.
mhm,
Imagine how abundant this universe is when I don't have money and I want to pay for something and somebody gives me the money so I can pay for it. That's abundance. So right now I might be judging that debt, but it gave me some value. There was abundance.
mhm,
So I would just say stop with judging the debt.
mhm,
Don't judge yourself for having created that. Don't judge yourself for your ability repaying, not repaying. That is not bad. Again, there's no bad thing, not good thing. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. And it's actually showing me how abundant I am because I could have created that abundant I am. And if you stop judging the debt, it will go away. But because of the judgment, it's the scarcity which is keeping it in its place, basically.
mm. Okay, okay. All right, all right. So I could keep asking you more questions, but I
Oh
did
yeah.
say it would be my last. Thank you so much, Andrea, for taking all this time and sharing so much excellent perspective and wisdom with us. Do you have any last words you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we could be talking for hours about money and relationship of money and abundance and all of that. And I just love the topic. So I'm just like, yes, everybody needs to know about this. But really, look at money as your friend, as your best friend, as your beloved one, right? Like how would you treat your beloved one, right? You would tell them nice things. You would not judge them. You would not be harsh with them. You would not be impatient with them. Like, where's the money? Where's the money? we don't do that to someone we love. We are showering them with love. Shower money with love.
Mhm.
And money will shower you back with abundance as well because it's the same. And money wants to be with you. Money really wants to be with you because it's just so fun to co-create whatever you want to do with the money. Have a purpose for your money. Like say, I want money, but say for what you wanted. I want to go for a luxurious holiday because my family deserves that. And we like we want to go some nice places. We want a beautiful house. We want a good, reliable car, which is modern and doesn't break all the time. We want to have enough food in our fridge. We want to have those amazing experience on trips and beautiful clothes. And we put purpose to your money and literally treat it like your best friend. That's what I'm gonna leave you with.
I like it. I like it. That is an excellent place for us to wrap up. And for my last reminder, to our audience is to remind you to please make sure you check the show notes because we will be dropping Andrea's links in there so you can connect with her and continue to learn with her and get the help and support you need whenever you're ready for it. And until we connect next time, I just wish you lots and lots of peace and joy.